Welcome to Beyond Talent Swim podcast. So, today I just wanted to start off by my own personal swimming journey. So, about less than 20 years ago, I left Kenya for South Africa for better or greener pastures because I had reached the maximum that I would get here within the environment in Kenya. And when I look back, that was 20 years ago. When I came back to Kenya, I thought like things would have advanced in terms of our swimming, our progression. And I came and I found we're still sort of at the same level. 20 years later, in fact, we're sort of at the same level. And for you to actually do well in a sport in Kenya, you have to leave the country. You have to leave the comfort of your home, look for greener pastures and get a training environment that is actually better for your athlete, for your children. And the question I ask myself usually is, what's so wrong with us here in Kenya? So when I went to South Africa, I had the chance to at least get to see the best programs that were out there. And funny thing, I saw the pools are the same. Of course, they're slightly more advanced, their pools. The training sets that we were doing were exactly the same. What I was being given by Coach Shirley when I was younger and some of my other coaches was exactly the same. But the difference was the culture that some of these teams had. Sports was taken seriously. And it was not sports or academics. It was... it's not either or, it's and. So sports and academics. And that's the difference between Kenya and other countries. So today I decided to invite Zadock Olengo, who is the father to one of Kenya's best swimmers, Neo Olengo, to the studio today to just have a chat about Neo's journey, what he's gone through, why he decided to send Neo abroad. To South Africa to go and train when he was still just finishing primary school, going into high school. So yes, welcome, Zadock.
Thank you very much.
Maybe we can start by introducing yourself. Who are you? And maybe just telling the audience something about yourself.
Okay, like he's mentioned, my name is Zadock Olengo. I'm father to two swimmers, actually. My eldest is Neo Olengo, and the youngest is a 10-year-old girl by the name Neo Olengo. I'm a swim dad, basically.
Okay. Were you also a swimmer?
No.
Okay. Which sport did you play or just books?
I played rugby and football in high school.
Okay.
Yeah, but that was the extent of it. I normally just swim for leisure.
Okay.
Not competitively.
Okay. So maybe we can start off by you telling us, how did swimming first come in Neo's life?
Just the usual. Growing up, parents would like their kids to develop confidence in water, something to keep them busy. So that's what started off Neo in swimming. We just took him to the pool to try and get him to gain confidence, learn the essential skill that swimming is. So eventually, in that, we realized that he actually enjoys being in water, and he looks forward to those occasions. So I think that's where his dream started from. It started out as learning an essential skill, then developed into a dream.
Okay. How old was he when he first started?
When he first jumped into a pool, he was 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but when he went into joined a club, he was 7.
Okay. Which club was that?
That was Seahorses Aquatic Center. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And maybe tell us his journey between that point and the point at which you started saying, okay, this guy is actually slightly better than the rest. How did that journey look from 7 to whatever age that was?
Basically, he was just having fun.
Yeah.
And like I said, at 7, he probably went into his first competition, but we didn't read much into it.
Okay.
But then going forward towards 8, 9, 10 years old, we started realizing that he's actually outperforming his peers. And he's like really looking forward to competitions. He's willing to learn. His work ethic was quite evident right then. And the discipline and the looking forward to going for training and competitions was markedly different from the rest. So we saw probably there's potential here. Let's pursue the competitions and see where it leads.
Okay, so now after about 10 is when he started becoming quite serious with his swimming, right?
Yes, after 10, okay, we're grateful for for his foundation. He had a very good foundation at Seahorses.
Yeah.
So from then we realized that he actually needs more of a challenge to like probably see where this potential would lead to, because he had the talent was evident, but what do we do with that talent? Where do we help it grow and see the actual potential that he has?
Yeah, because I think I came across him a couple of years, maybe 3-4 years ago, and he was swimming quite fantastic times at some of the galas that he was going under Seahorses. So what was his training looking like at that point? What did a typical week look like for him at about 10 to 13, maybe that age group?
10 to 13, he was training every day.
Okay.
Every day, probably an hour and a half after school. Yeah, because the pool was just close to our school. And
which school was that?
We trained at White Star.
Okay.
There's a school called White Star that had a pool. Yeah, so it was quite close to where we live and where he was schooling at that time.
Which school was he in at that time?
He was at Kinderville.
Oh, Kinderville.
Yeah,
okay.
he was at Kinderville, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, he used to train probably an hour and a half every day, 6 days a week. That's Monday through to Saturday. Then Sunday he would rest. Yeah.
So how was the experience with the training, the competitions? How was your experience? Just basically, how are things running? Were you happy with the training? Were you happy with the competitions? Were you happy with everything?
Since we were new to swimming at that time, we were just like going with the flow, learning a few things here and there. But then we realized he started setting himself targets, trying to find out what the meet records were, what the county records were, what the national age group records were, and going for those as his targets. So it was nothing as such like programmed to that end, but it was something that he had in his mind, but the training structure and everything was not geared towards that. So I think we probably just stumbled into a talent that we realized was evident. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what were the biggest challenges you had faced in the Kenyan swimming environment from the time he started his first competition at 7 to the time maybe he was about 10 to 13? What were there any challenges, or you guys were just like, we're just going with the flow, everything is good?
The challenges were because he loved football.
Yeah.
So it was a challenge trying to convince him to.
Yeah.
So he didn't really like that he had to swim like every day. But so it's just the normal challenges any swim parent would go through, having to organize transport to meets, schedule training times, and actually have him attend training. So challenges were the normal challenges, nothing like we could not manage. Yeah.
And what about, other than personal challenges, was there anything you had realized was a challenge with the swimming ecosystem at that point? Did a light bulb come on and you're like, okay, wait, is everything okay, or something, or how are you guys feeling about it?
Okay, that actually happened when he was around 11, 12.
Okay.
Because that's in 2022, that's when he did his first Zone 3, Kana Zone 3, and Kana Zone 4 in April and I think August of the same year. So he did quite good in those particular events. So we were like, we need something that will challenge him, because we realized that locally we don't have that high performance ecosystem in the country that is geared towards realizing potential out of talent. We have a lot of talent in Kenya, but we don't have an environment where that talent can thrive and translate into a world-class athlete. Yeah.
Okay, so now, as we know, he's now at South Africa at the High Performance Center. So at what age did you transition him to HPC in South Africa, OTAX, and what was the reasoning behind it?
He left the country at 13.
Okay.
Yeah, he was turning 14 later that year, so he left at 13. And like I said before, we were looking for an environment that would challenge him. And we looked around and we found that closer to home, South Africa was the only available option, in that it offered, besides the infrastructure, the high performance environment, the academic side of it. It also offered an environment whereby on the daily he would be in the pool with athletes that are actually chasing international standards. So I think that being in that environment would sort of challenge him to like better himself and consistently get good performances from his swims.
Okay. So why did you choose South Africa in particular for his journey to going to become a better swimmer?
Initially, we were looking at the UK, but it was far from home.
Yeah.
And him being he was still very young. So as parents, we would have loved to have him closer to home. And that was the only option that would have him closer to home. So I think it was a no-brainer that was where we would take him. And also it was where we could actually relate to athletes from the African continent that are actually doing well out there. We have athletes that are performing very well at the World Champs, performing exceptionally well at the Commonwealth and the like. Even the Olympic stage, they share a team with an Olympic gold medalist. So that environment that is closer to home and would offer all the aspects that we thought he would need to thrive was a very good, convincing aspect for us.
Okay. Yeah. So I want to contrast his training at Kenya and his training at South Africa. So correct me if I'm wrong. So when he was in Kenya, it was the usual need to be in school by maybe 7:30 or 8. Mm-hmm. You then do your classes, and then in the evening, you then go for your 1.5 hour training session every day. Mm-hmm. Was that how it looked like for him here at Kenya? Was that his general?
Yeah, that was his general.
The general structure.
Yeah.
So what was different when he moved to South Africa? What is this high performance environment that we hear about?
Okay, I think training is more structured. Yeah. It's more individualized. The different aspect of swimming. You wouldn't have, like in Kenya, we'd have everyone just training the same sets. Yes. There's no sprinter, there's no mid-distance swimmer. Everyone trains the same set across all age groups. So that would probably be detrimental to some swimmers, maybe benefit some more than others. But in South Africa, it's more structured. It's more individualized towards the type of athlete you're training. And I think there's also the aspect of sports science being integrated into training, strength and conditioning, recovery strategies, that sort of thing, nutrition, physiotherapy. It was all like integrated in one center, which is what we lack here. We have it, but we have passionate coaches, but it's very fragmented. Yeah.
Okay, what would a typical week, I know you can't walk us through the full week, but what would a typical week look like for Neo right now at the High Performance Center? Mm-hmm. Or when he first joined, what did his week look like at 13 years? School plus swimming plus anything else. What did that look like?
It's a school, it's a sports school for starters. So all the students there are athletes. So they kind of relate to each other. And school day starts at 9 a.m. and ends at 3. So it gives allowance for him to have his morning training, get back to the res and prepare for the day and get to class in good time. There's that allowance, and when they close at 3, if he has evening practice, then he still has time because that would typically start at 5:30.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think that provided the balance between academics and sports such that none of them was suffering. Yeah. And typically he'd train 9 sessions, 2 to 3 of them being the dryland strength and conditioning sessions, and 6 or 7 pool sessions in a week. Yeah.
Okay. And since he has moved there, he's been there for how many years now?
This is his 3rd year.
His 3rd year. Yeah. What are some of the changes you have seen in his swimming and also personally in terms of his development?
Okay. He's much more aware of his, say, race strategy. He's developed quite a lot strength-wise, technique. His technique has improved quite some bit, and also going out there by himself at that young age, I think forced him to become a responsible kid. He's more disciplined. He can structure his own day without having to be taken around and told to do this, do that. So I think it's brought out the discipline and the maturity in him quite fast. Yeah. So he's developed in quite a mature teenager at a very fast pace. Yeah.
Okay. So maybe for some parents who are looking at sending their kids abroad at that age, what advice would you give them? Because there are quite a number of swimmers who I know. Johari, for example, left at 13. So what are some of the advice you'd give parents with their children, or what are some of the challenges that you also faced moving away that young?
I know every parent would wish or would love that their kid develops locally. So it's a challenge, them being away from home. You're not there to mold them into what you think they need to be. But you just trust the process that whatever he's getting there is for his benefit. We don't take the kids out there because out of choice. We take them out there out of necessity. So we'd prefer that we had that environment locally so that it becomes a choice whether you want to go out or not.
Okay. That
you can get the same level of performance or level of training locally.
Okay. Yeah. And I know in terms of financially, this must have not been cheap. So did he get a scholarship, or is it something parents have to fund? Because I know there are 3 other swimmers, two other swimmers, a rugby player, and
there's a golfer.
And a golfer.
Yeah.
So what does it take for you to be able to take your child there? Not financial, not the amount of money, but are there scholarships available, or is it mostly self-funded?
It's self-funded for now, because in South Africa they do not give scholarships to high schoolers who are not South African. Yeah.
Even university, they rarely. Yeah.
Yeah, you probably might get a university scholarship, a sports scholarship, a partial scholarship of sorts. But for high school, it's 100% on the parents to fund it. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's you need to make sacrifices here and there, because your priority now becomes them getting through the education and training that you sent them to.
Okay. So now maybe let's get into the crux of the matters. So I follow quite a number of the swim clubs here in Kenya, and they do try sometimes to replicate. Some of the older clubs that have been around have tried to replicate the high performance environment, like in South Africa, where we have morning training and we have afternoon training. Like in Mombasa, for example, I do know just a few years after I left, some of the swimmers started doing the morning, afternoon doubles, plus gym, plus everything. But I'm seeing again, it's been maybe 18 to 20 years since that time. And we are still not being able to produce swimmers who are being able to compete at the Olympic stage or at the highest stage. So for example, we recently had the Commonwealth. Our swimmers did fantastically. But the question is, why are we not able to reach semifinals, reach finals? We have these clubs in Kenya that are doing that. So what's the difference? Like what is... might you have an idea of what is causing us not to get to that level? And some clubs are trying to replicate the high performance environment.
Like I mentioned earlier, I think the main reason is that we have those aspects. Well, we have what we need for a high performance center here, but it is fragmented. There's that issue that over commute. You have to do a commute from home to where the pool is. Maybe the gym is in a different location. The physiotherapist is elsewhere. So that in itself is a hindrance. Besides that, we can manage with that, so to speak, but there is the issue of world-class competition as well, because locally there's an age group you'll get, and if you're an athlete that aspires to to be world class, the sort of competition pool we have around is not that challenging. So you find that you'll have to try and get competitions maybe in the Middle East, in Dubai, probably go to the South Africa Junior Nationals and the like to get that world-class competition that would push you to even higher standards. So what I realize is that in Kenya that comes much later in the life of an aspiring elite swimmer. If we would have had that earlier, and we have very competitive swimmers at, say, 14, 15 to 16 thereabouts, then I'm sure we would be where we want to be as a swimming fraternity. Because we have swimmers who are attaining 500-point performance at 12, 13. But if we don't expose them to world-class competition that will push them, then we run a high risk of losing that talent. Yeah.
In fact, what you've said is, it's like you've pulled the words out of my mouth. Was I just look at a typical day for, as I said, I've been exposed to some of these high-level athletes who have tried replicating the high-performance environment here. They would have to be up by about 4.
Yeah.
So they get ready, they leave the house at about 4:30, get to the pool. The pool is 5 kilometers away from school.
True.
So they get to school. They get to the pool in the morning, they train, but they have to leave quite early and the set is quite rushed. So the coach is trying to get as quickly as possible so that they can leave at 6:30, because nowadays a lot of Kenyan schools are requiring you to be in class or in school by 7:30.
7:30, yeah.
So now you're rushing quickly. So traffic, again, quickly. So your morning session has ideally been 45 minutes to 1 hour, 15 minutes max. So you get to school. Classes are starting, bang, at 8 in the morning. You've not even had time to recover. You've not had time to do anything. So you start your day and you go all the way to about 3 p.m. or some schools even go up to 4. Some of the local schools go up to 4 or 4:30. And then now you have the afternoon battle of getting to training. And even you right now, I'm sure you're going through that same afternoon.
Yeah. Same thing with my youngest, girl, yeah.
Yeah. Then
so we do the morning, 4:15, we're out.
Yeah.
And we have to rush again in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So.
And then the afternoon training now, again, for those who are coming in now for doubles, for example, you're coming in, you're stuck in traffic for 1 hour. You get to the pool, you can't even stretch, you don't even have time. You're like, okay, we just have to get in. You get in, you have to be out within an hour and a half so that you can go home to do your mountains of homework. Because another thing, the way the academic structure has been set is homework. A lot of homework has been provided. So the kids are now sleeping at about 9, 10, or even some 11. So even if you look at worst case scenario of a child, best case scenario of a child is sleeping at 9, you have 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 hours. And a developing brain requires 8 to about 10 hours of sleep. So when I've been looking at just how the ecosystem is, it's crazy. Because even gym, for example, now on those days that you're not swimming, you have to quickly rush to a gym somewhere else. And this person who's doing the gym is not in sync with the coach.
Yeah.
So early in the season, we're supposed to be doing strength. Them, they're doing some other funny thing. They're doing, because I even had a coach who was doing aerobics and yoga with them, and we primarily did not need aerobics and yoga. And he had convinced the parents that we need aerobics and yoga. Then again, you get an injury. You go to an orthopedic surgeon who has no idea about sports. Quickly gives you advice that doesn't help you. You go to the physio who has never dealt with any athletes. So again, as in that system is so fragmented, and the hustle and bustle of moving from one place to another has become, like even us right now at Next Gen, we are really struggling. We are really struggling with that because of just getting time. Even the coaches are normally just like, we have to go. So I'm happy you've come here and you're one of the few people who have actually seen that early, and I'm happy actually Neo got the opportunity to go, because what usually happens again, we have some fantastic, actually it's not even, maybe you got into swimming when Neo started. Did you know the history of swimming?
No.
So we do have quite a number of swimmers from back in the day, 10, 11-year-olds who are swimming level 3 South Africa, insane times. But again, they get to about 12, 13. You're told to choose between academics and books. So maybe that takes me to the next question. How is his academics so far? Like how is he being able to balance the academics and the school? Is he being supported? And is there leeway for him to have flexibility with his academics, or how is it structured at tax?
I think it's at the moment it's structured in a way that is very helpful to the athlete. Being a sports school, they go out of their way to ensure that an athlete is supported. They have the video lessons, visual learning. Say when they are out traveling to a competition, they'll miss a lot of classwork. But then there's that option of maybe linking in via video and having your classes or having a recording of what class happened and just catching up while you're on your competition trip. So the school itself facilitates that athlete environment where you will constantly not have time to attend class because you are in competition, or maybe your training has to be structured in a different way that would probably be in conflict with a normal school environment. Yeah, so I think being in a sports school balances out the two, and you would find that none of them is suffering.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So now when we look at the competitions, you talked about competitions and the competition structure.
Mm-hmm.
So what have you had to do deliberately to ensure that he gets those kind of exposures, and what has it cost you in terms of maybe financially, emotionally?
Mm-hmm.
Basically, yeah. Or has it been easy? Have you just been able to get all the competitions?
Because we are, because of lack of that ecosystem, like you mentioned earlier, we've had to probably just do a pathway for him, like a rough thing, because your dream is this, and how do we get to that dream? So we actually just sat down, and so now you'll be here probably for the next 5 years. During that 5 years, what are the milestones that we are looking at you achieving and going through to attain your goal? So the competitions informed where we want him to be at a certain level. So at the moment, he will probably do the South Africa Juniors, which is his say topmost age group competition at his age. He's turning 16, and at 16, I think they will be considered youth. So we'll move away from that. So for now, it's that, and probably the Africa regional competitions. We were really like targeting participation in that, because that would expose him to competition from the elite swimmers from his age group, and we would be able to gauge and see where he where his performance lies in comparison to, say, athletes from Egypt, South Africa, Algeria, the countries that do well. Yeah. So that structure is part of the pathway that we wrote down for him, and we would like to see him like go through each stage that we had planned. And if he does that successfully, then I'm sure he will attain his goal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now he's 16. He's now leaving the youth cut. He's becoming a senior.
Mm-hmm.
So what is yes?
He's becoming a youth now. He's
A youth.
the
not
junior.
senior, yeah, because senior is after 18.
Junior
So now he's still entering the higher cadre of the youth, of the youth
junior,
of the junior South Africa junior age groups.
Yeah.
How is his training changing? Has the coach communicated like now? Okay, boss, we're now 16. What does the training now look like, or is it just the same as it has always been?
The training is mainly structured towards. They train towards certain competitions. So if you're training for Sanjay, for example, there's you have attained the qualification times. So the focus would be towards you attaining the second swim. You get to say make the finals. So we probably train towards that pace that would guarantee you the time. Probably the time, the number 8 time that made the last finals would be the target for you, for your training. So they train the pace. The training is probably individualized towards their different strokes. He's not like specialized as such, but he does well in particular strokes and more than others. He's quite still a versatile swimmer, but emphasis would be on the strokes that actually have more likelihood of earning him the highest points and getting him the highest positions to make the finals. So the target is the second swim. You train to get into an event where you'll highly likely make the second swim. Yeah. So if you're not attaining that, then probably you're not achieving what you're set out to achieve. Yeah.
And Neo is a Team Kenya swimmer. What are some of the highlights of him swimming for Kenya, and what are some of the challenges you have had? Me, I had more challenges than I had worse days than better days representing Team Kenya. So has that changed? Are there more better days than worse days when you're representing the country? Because for us, I'm hoping it has changed. I want to hear Neo's experience.
Over the last couple of years, it has changed. I think we've had markedly improved assistance from the government. So more or less, we've been attending all the competitions that we've aspired to attend. Support has come through from the federation and the government, which is quite a plus. And I think that is not a challenge so far. So hopefully, knock on wood, that continues being the situation. Yeah, but highlights from 2022 when he started, he's been happy with his performances. He won the best 12-year-old boy at the Zone 3 in that year. He took home 7 gold medals, won every event that he participated in. Had quite a challenge in Zambia at the Zone 4, but actually made PBs and really improved his times. So he's enjoying his time in Team Kenya, the travels and everything. He's really getting much out of it. The challenge would be the team composition, because we find that when we get to that level of competition, our team is very small. Maybe I would challenge the federation probably to try and lobby the government to try and get a bigger team for the swimming sport, because we find that we are probably constrained to 4. Last time at the Commonwealth was 4 athletes. Yeah. So we would love, there are a lot of athletes that are coming through the pipelines that have aspirations and they would want to represent the country at a certain level. But if we are only taking a certain number or a limited number of athletes, then we stifle the development of these athletes who are trying to aspire to those levels. So they fail to realize why they are training so hard and what is the end goal of it all. Yeah. So if we could get a bigger team going to the more competitive events, then we would have like a sure avenue to explain to the swimmers that we are working hard towards a certain goal, and you're guaranteed if your performance is good and is at this level, then you will definitely compete at those high level competitions. Yeah.
Okay. So my next question is, if such a program existed in Kenya, a high performance program, would you have taken Neo to it, or would have you still examined and looked at other places abroad?
As a parent, I would say we would love to have our children around us, have our children pursue their dreams, their sports aspirations at home. So if we had an environment where that is the norm, then definitely it would be a no-brainer. We'd opt to stay at home. But people normally just send out their kids out of necessity.
Yeah, lack of opportunities.
Lack of opportunities here, and also you would have the environment, but do you have the competition?
Yeah.
Do you have an athlete that in the next lane there's someone who is just from maybe getting the Commonwealth record? Yeah. So that pushes the athlete to want to be better. Yeah. To that culture of excellence around the pool area is quite a driving force.
Yeah, in fact, I was talking to my friend the other day about just level of competition. I left Kenya at 17 because of level of, I used to swim 100 fly by myself, and one of my coach was just like, boss, I think it's time you leave and go look for good South Africa and see how you can get better opportunities. I was rank 1 here when by the time I was leaving. I swam level 3 and I think I was dead last in the 100 fly. I swam in the same heat not heat, but I was in the same event with Chad Leclerc at the time. So at the level it was a huge disparity. Me coming from being the best here to being one of the slowest in South Africa was humbling. It was very humbling. And as I said, I was talking to my friend the other day who was saying, I think I'm so tired of us participating. We normally go, other than athletics or running, and once in a while the Kenya Sevens team surprises us and they do well. Other than those two sports, we just go for participation's sake. Hockey, recently, we just went to participate. Basketball, we participate. Swimming, we normally tell our kids when they go for international meets, as long as you improve your time, don't worry about what the other kids are doing. I think it's time we move away from thinking so that we have such a small mentality in terms of, as long as we have improved our time, to now how can we create an ecosystem that takes us to the next level. And I think this is a perfect segue for me to introduce or to say this. I don't know if I'm saying it prematurely, but Next Gen is in the process of starting Kenya's first high-performance swimming center.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. And we're looking at opening in January, where we can combine academics and swimming. And the reason we are starting this is because I sometimes find like we're just wasting time. We're in this Goldilocks area where the kids are training so much, but there's no tangible outcome. They're getting tired. They're tired every day, but we're not being able to get performances that are actually geared towards high-level competition. So in fact, I'm embarking on a vision or a mission called Vision 2030, where we want to actually qualify a Kenyan who has trained in Kenya for the Youth Olympics. They haven't yet stated the date, but in 2030, we want to be able to get a Kenyan who has grown up in Kenya, trained in Kenya, goes to the world stage at Olympics, and actually makes a semi-final, and actually can compete. And for that to happen, we have to have that structure where everything is together, number one. And number two, a thing that I have fought for years is the academic program needs to match the swimming. Where we can be able to get people who can still get to study the law and the medicine, but pursue swimming. And I've seen it because when I went to finish high school in South Africa, some of my teammates went on to pursue medicine and still swim at Africa champs, world champs, and they were lawyers. Some of them were psychologists, and they swam very well. So that's what we're trying to create. And January will be the launch date. Still keeping it close. We're just opening it up to our own personal swimmers as we grow. And then next year, September, open up to all the other swimmers. And I think this will be the opportunity people have been waiting for, to actually take their swimmers to the next level. Maybe you'll bring Neo back to Kenya.
Hopefully.
But I know Naya will probably benefit from...
she's at that age where we can hope for a local solution.
Yes. Yeah. And the reason I'm saying it's possible locally is because when I went to South Africa, the main thing I realized is just the culture and professionalism. Two things. Like some of our best swimmers were coming from in Cape Town. There's another random pool that it wasn't the best, it was heated, of course, but it's just an open pool and was producing one of the best swimmers in South Africa at that time. And I realized it's not, the facilities are very important, but it's the culture and the mentality. On Saturday morning, everyone wakes up to go watch their favorite rugby team. They don their home team colors. So by the time the kids are growing up, sports is a culture. Swimming, for example, it's not something that the child does at the end of the day after they have finished school. No, it's prioritized as part of the holistic development. And I think it's time Kenya starts thinking more in those directions. And I'm happy you came today, because that shows that there's a need. And Neo was just lucky enough that he had a parent or parents who are forward thinking. Most parents are not willing to take that leap or do not have the financial capacity to take that leap. So I think it's time we start growing it in Kenya. And yes, thank you so much. I don't know if you have any parting words for us. Sorry, I have one last question with regards to systems. So you've been in the Kenyan ecosystem for, other than the high performance environment, is there anything else that you've seen that we can change in Kenya, so Kenyan sports, Kenyan swimming, so that we can be able to take it to the next level?
The high performance ecosystem, I think, should be the priority, because we want that integrated environment where a swimmer gets everything. Because we spend so much time commuting to the pool for the swim and rushing again to do the evening session, and we neglect the recovery aspect of
Very
it,
important.
which is where you actually develop your muscles, and everything else develops when in recovery. So we give that probably a very few hours of sleep at night, and you're back again rushing to make the swim. So the whole ecosystem needs to develop together, so that the swimmer is given the best opportunity to thrive. Maybe if we could probably partner with countries that actually do well in swimming, that would solve the world-class competition aspect, so that we have swimmers who are doing much better times than the level 3 we have. But level 3 is the highest that we have around here, so we don't have anywhere else to take them. We need to look at how to partner with countries that are doing well, probably look at competitions like, say, the Dubai Open, that would really challenge our age group swimmers that are actually not getting the sort of competition they need locally. So that partnership would, I think, create an environment where swimmers would know that after level 3, then there's a challenge that I'm going to face that probably would push me to the level that I can actually achieve. Yeah.
Okay. So thank you so much for coming today. I think what we have, well, just to sum it up, I think it's possible for us to actually develop world-class talent here in Kenya. We've seen it in athletics, we've seen it in sevens, and hopefully now it will come to swimming with the High Performance Center that I want to start. And yes, viewers, you've heard it here first. Next Gen is in the process of starting a High Performance Center where you can combine academics and your talents. So being able to combine everything in one, because you need a holistic child, not just a child who is very good at swimming, but a child who can combine the two. Launching in January. If you're interested, you can reach out to me personally, or I'm sure most of you guys have my phone number on the group chats, and if not, you can be able to get them. You can just reach out on Instagram, at Dr. Boit, and I'll be able to answer more questions about this high performance environment that we have been yearning for the last 30 or 40 years, and trying to see if it can be replicated across other sports, so that we can no longer just be known for athletics, but we can be known for being a powerhouse in all sports. And also academically, we're known to be very bright. So how do we combine the two? So thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Perfect. And we're out.